so that's like what I did, continuing from the last broadcast. Like, I literally just, kind of celebrated life. Like, after 2017, 2018, is when I created Project Lightseed, because I wanted to inspire myself and myself to be even bigger than I already was. Was a air traffic controller in the Navy, had 4 businesses, had just opened up Miko Surface. Well, I was the director of Miko Surface, and the founder and director of Miko Surface Oasis. The amazingness of just the unity that exists between the unity consciousness that's just in the bliss in my own mind and my own heart that I instilled from just the hard work that I did, and the importance of peace when it comes to fighting the cabal, especially after those just hundreds of videos that I made, and broadcasts that I made, really fighting the cabal, really informing people about the cabal, and doing everything I can. I was doing everything I can to inform people about the cabal, and I feel like that's the most important thing. Informing people about the cabal. That's the whole core reason of why I had those companies. And so, like, here's when things got interesting. 2018, I didn't know it at the time, but my whole focus was Project Lightseed. So what I'd actually do, I go to different restaurants. I would go to the different restaurants and just be reading and just kind of like living free sort of thing, but like paying attention to myself at the same time. And then I got prepared for Camp Witsit. I was surviving sort of thing. Like, I got my Christmas gift, which is a survival kit, and then I was just like, I never stopped playing with that survival kit. So, I just, hold on, that's late 2018. I'm not there yet. Hold on. $2018, that was the first time I went back to Camp Witsit after the Navy, and that was the time when I was I was still Navy-like, and I was still military-like, and I was not quite fitting in quite well into the civilian life. I didn't know how to do that yet. I was still fitting into the civilian life, so I was kind of finagling with that, fumbling with that. But I had fun, I could be like, I was like, yeah, I was in the Navy, and I'm a Navy war hero. Like, it's so cool. I went to the Navy, I went to Camp Witsit before I joined the Navy, and then I went back to Camp Witsit after I joined the Navy and after I finished my contract. And, I had this amazing Navy experience, and I want to immediately inspire those that want to go into the Navy. And, I touched people's hearts, like Leighton, who's in the Navy now, in, what's it called? Doing special operations things. Special ops, spec ops, and things like that. So, like, me and Leighton have a close bond. And not only me and Leighton, but me and several others who joined the Navy, at that same time, or around that time. When I was 24? Yeah, when I was 24, 2018. And, like, the amazingness of, the fearlessness, because, like, when I realized, like, because, and I didn't know that till today. Like, I wanted to affirm, like, do I truly just keep marching? Like, but while still staying true to myself, but keep marching forward and in a fearless, loving way, just being fearless. And the truth is, yes, I am, because I was, or I guess I could say, like, I was full charge at the cabal, And, I know that nothing's going to slow me down. I know that nothing's going to get in my way of me providing the best possible reality for America and for the planet, and to do everything I can against enemies, foreign and domestic. So, I knew who the enemy was. I knew it was the Cabal. And, I was, having fun with what I could do to truly liberate the planet by myself. Well, I'm never really alone. But, by myself with Stephen Greer, who I contacted while I was in the Navy, via email saying, I want to be brave. I want to be brave. I want to be as brave as possible. Because we deserve to be as brave as possible, It's 25 years for him is a long time, and he's been working hard, doing things that he deserves. The greatness that I can instill by believing in all the things that he's done completely, like without hesitation. That's the kind of people that I believe in me. I believe that people believe in me without hesitation. I believe that people want to follow me without hesitation. I believe that people will follow me no matter what I say, because I am a fearless leader, and because of the way that I fought for them, and the way that I fight for them, and the way that I fight for everyone, and how much I fight against the enemy, who's the Cabal, and how I give my whole heart and my whole everything to fight the Cabal. I really do. And that means a lot to me. So, I started Project Lightseed. I started Project Lightseed, created and became, the director of it early 2018. And then eventually it opened up to directorship, and then, I guess I'll just call it, executive directorship of Project Lightseed that exists or something like that. But, Project Lightseed was all of 2018. I went all the way to Sequoias. I was high adventure staff, and I was fearless. I'd literally be. I'm so much fun. Challenging outdoor personal experience. That is me. That is my life. That's what I was so good at. And I did well. I did really well. And I made lifelong friendships, even stronger friendships than ever. And I didn't realize, but I guess I realized that it was just nonstop commitment, because it's like the Scout oath and the Scout law. That's and I carried that with me all throughout my military career. And that's so important and special, and so important. And so after, and I was so inspired, by what transpired, that it's still a secret to this day. But I'm so inspired by what happened at Camp Witsit, and the leadership that I upheld at Camp Witsit since before I joined the military. And, as a leader, or as a, what's it called? Just as a Boy Scout. And I was a senior patrol, or assistant senior patrol leader at a time, when I was in Boy Scouts, and, I was the Adventure Scouts. And anyway, so, I wanted to be high adventure staff. I didn't really, it was cool. It was a big impact, and so it changed my life. It changed my life so much that I've never felt the love that and it's funny, because I thought I'd never be as happy as I was when I was when I was just having my laughing, pure joy moments in the military. But the stories that I created with the kids, and the memories that I created with the kids at Camp Witsit with the Boy Scouts, it changed my life forever. It literally changed my life forever. I went straight to I went back to Southern California after leaving the Sequoia forests, and life was never the same. I began, I was still video gaming, I think, during that time, but I was into Destiny 2, gaming with all three characters, and I eventually got up to level 50. And And of course I'd have my sessions, I'd have, I don't know why I'm talking about that, but I'd have lots of quiet time, lots of still time, because I still wanted to communicate with him. I was crazy, but like I was crazy about love. I still wanted to communicate with this feeling. I still wanted to communicate with this feeling. Like I was so inspired and in so much high vibrational energy joy that I was committed to going to Camp Witsit the next year. I was committed, and I was so excited. I swear I had that same excitement like all the way until like May. Like the seasons changed, the weather changed, it rained, it pours, there would be sunny. I sometimes walk to the beach or hang out with my friends or hang out with my bandmates, hang out with my band or but it was mostly alone. I was mostly alone, like all the time. Guys, it was just solitude, alone time, just me within my inner self being in total peace and serenity. And I cherished that like all through like September, October, November, December, January, February. I mean, I'm just saying these months really fast. But like I would sometimes go to the gym to Planet Fitness, and I would just literally it's just crazy how cool I am, because I'm still realizing it in terms of working out, or just in terms of my worth ethic. So like I would go to the gym, or I'd just like be jogging in the mornings and stuff, and I'd eat and work out. I try to make sure I had healthy meals, make sure I had food every day, and I return to life. And that's a weird way to say it. Why did I even say that? It's not what I mean. 2018, like I was just I was really meditative. And then into 2019, I continued to be meditative. But at the same time, I was inspired by my own writing, because I'm working on another book, just short stories. It's called Oyster's Haven, which is just a mixture of short stories. And it's really cool. Like I was working on that since the summer of 2018, and I probably will publish that soon or something like that. Or whatever, it doesn't matter if I publish it or not. But, that's one of the books I was working on, and I was super inspired in 2018, end of 2018, to actually write that book. So, 2019 rolls around, it just enters, and I'm feeling all the high vibrational energies. I'm feeling all of them. There was a celebration of Wizak, there was just a pure fun and joy and merriment from Destiny, and I would try to stay quiet and just power through and not feel the joy of playing Destiny, the video game. But I don't know why I did that. I just got too serious into it, perhaps. But I was really into Destiny, and I was really into just kind of playing Destiny a lot, and just playing Destiny until people fall asleep, and then getting better and better. And I just developed my own mentality around Destiny, because I wanted to revolve my life around Destiny. I wanted to dedicate my life to Destiny, to that video game. I wanted to dedicate my life and say that my life and my destiny goes through Destiny. And I believed it so much that I believed it to be true. And nobody else knew that but me, because I wanted to be the first guy to actually do something cool like that. To say that not only am I a military guy who experienced actual military career stuff and have been involved on that front lines, but I'm also innovatively a part of the front lines of Destiny 2 in terms of fighting the Cabal, and how I can uniquely fight the Cabal through video games, through Xbox Live. And that's what I did. That's what I accomplished. What was I gonna say? I would play for hours and hours each day, and then sometimes I'd meditate, and sometimes I'd relax, and I'd notice something weird, because I try to be still, and I try to recognize like an immortality in life and stuff like that. Like when I was in my backyard, so I could feel like this tremendous power moving through me. Just this connection with the sun. So I would just, I'd keep playing video games, going back and forth between outside. And I'd kind of think, it wasn't really a thing, but I'd kind of think as, I'd think of, the door that I had between the living room and, like that whole, there's like half the house was like the living room, the other half of the house was like the kitchen and the den, which is where I had to because I had to sleep. But I was trying not to sleep. I was trying not to sleep for as long as possible. But I'd eventually crash and just fall asleep. And that's what happened. I'd make a border, and then, I'd go through that border, and then I'd, go outside, and then I'd come back, and then I'd continue having hardcore, or at least what I believe to be hardcore action, against the Cabal, while I was playing Destiny 2 with, my Warlock, with the Hunter, and with the Titan. So I was just, playing those video games, playing that video game, and I also played Kingdom Hearts, Fortnite. I was playing some other games too. I played Limbo. I was so into. I was playing Castle Crashers. I became kind of sick of video games. Once summer started rolling around, and then summer came around, and I wanted to go to Camp Witsit, and I was just totally, had my mind set on going to Witsit. In that time frame, that's what I was thinking. Just video gaming all the way to Witsit. And then, because that's literally what I did. It's so freaking cool. Anyway, just video game all the way to Witsit, and I freaking powered through Witsit. Well, I was there for a little while, not for very long, but a week. And then I went to Camp Chawanaki. After I went to the business leadership breakfast at the Biltmore Millennium Hotel. And, I don't think I realized how awesome I was at that time, but I am awesome. And I met an army guy, who was there, and I talked to someone who's a representative in Apple, for business. We're talking about business stuff, and I was like, this is cool, and it was a family. It was a family next to me who the dad had went to the army, and he had a son, and he was with his wife. And there's a few other scouts at the table, and they did announcements. There's a guy who was, I think, 17 or 18. I should know that age, but who was giving a speech, and it was very inspiring. And I realized that I can actually be a great leader. I can actually be a great leader, and I am a great leader. And so I was expressing myself as that, just presentation, just beaming my own presentation sort of thing, and yeah. It was a big deal. After I went to the business leadership, or the Biltmore, or the business leadership breakfast at the Biltmore Millennium Hotel, I went to Camp Chawanaki and did the same thing, just powering through with video games, and was just in my mind saying that I have all this power through the video games that I want to anchor to reality. And that's something that's never been done before, like no one, we don't have the abilities, but I wanted to have those abilities. I want to have those light abilities, the void abilities, lightning, arc light, fire, flame, solar energy, all that stuff. I wanted to inspire the future generations, to have those abilities, to be those beings that can actually have that sort of power, And in what's it called? In Destiny 2, they're referred to as guardians, and so I wanted to increase the guardians' power. Not only my own power as a guardian, but the other kids' powers as guardians. In video games. So I was doing that, and I created my own language. I was communicating with the galaxy, and the thing is, I was just having fun, dude. And here's what I mean by that. I would go to sleep, and then I'd wake up the next day, and that's what I'd practiced anyway for the whole year. I just wake up the next day, and I'd be totally in tune with God, and in tune with myself, and be totally zen and meditative, and just empty mind, clear mind, and just have a totally clear mind. And I knew that my mind was the clearest mind and the most empty mind, and that my mind was perfect, and that I had a clear mind, sort of thing. And so as the days went on, it was really just go straight into the awesomeness, go straight into business, or for lack of a better word, straight into action. And that's kind of what was going on, And I was like, I'm a super being here. I'm a supreme being present here, at Camp Tawanaki at Shaver Lake. I want to be the best that I could be, and I'm going to lead like a badass. And that's what I did. I was in waterfront. I got really healthy. I got really fit. I swam a lot. Swam 550s almost every single week. Or I was in the water every single week, and by the lake, and I was canoeing, teaching canoeing classes, and teaching what's it called? The fudge is it called? Lifeguarding. I teach lifeguarding, and then I became a lifeguard instructor, and then I taught more lifeguards later on, and that was just kind of as cocky as that sounds, a side thing, or it's a very important job. Saving people's lives, obviously, it's a very important job, but it was a thing. So and I would, I told them about Project Vocal Earthshake. I told them about and I was expressing myself as this great leader of all these companies and all these businesses, and just of myself, and in this Zen way. And I created bravery within myself by saying that I can be a galactic who can be inspiring to these kids as galactics, and then how they can be galactics. And what I did was I created the language, which is just the awareness that I can say whatever, and that would apply to the galaxy, and it also applied to the kids. But they'd be in good hands because, it's a galactic standpoint, so obviously there's leadership going on, and I just continue to pave the way there. And so, a lot of things happened, It was so much fun. I had classes, I would teach them canoeing. I was kind of nervous, or not nervous, but I was kind of shy at first. But, it was really cool teaching them how to capsize and how to go out into the water and ride their canoe. And it was almost actually it was, and I realized that after. Every time we capsized or almost got out of the water, it was I could walk on the water. That's how glorious it was. And because I was just just leading the way, just some freaking epic badass. Just elementary and just freaking elemental avatar powers, Black Lantern powers that I had since before I joined the Navy. And just this super intense power. And, magic, I believed in the magic that I was conducting, and I believed in the website I was creating. I believed in the video game I was creating, and I believed that, you know, I could just devote myself, and it was kind of obvious to me, like, if kids really love video games, and if they love this video game, they're going to spend all their time on the video game, and they're going to dedicate their lives to it. So all I need to do is dedicate my life to this video game, and, you know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be totally worth it. And so, I don't know when E3 was, but E3 happened. You know, I watched Gears of War. I watched those trailers. That new Keanu Reeves one, too, super badass, super cool. And I was kind of thinking in my head, I probably should have had some type of video ready, at least for my video game. But I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to let anybody know. But it's E3, you know, that's what video games are for, to show people and to have them, and all that stuff. But I didn't. So, because I'm weird and shy like that. But anyway, I kind of stand by the decision. And I was like, and so, like, it was, you know, the video game with holographic reality in forms of manifesting. It's really simple. But it's like, you know, there's one option for each finger, and you can create a holographic option. So, like, for example, if you want to paint, like, you see the holographic reality, you just want to paint, like, each finger has a different color, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, pink, white, orange, black, for example. And then you can just, like, move your fingers to color things, for example. Or you can move your toes to color things. And there's 20 points of contact, or 20 points of options instead of 10 points. And you can detach whatever you want. Like, you can attach wind or air bending, for example, fire bending, water bending, earth bending, for example. You can attach telekinesis, electromagnetism, solar energy, teleportation, just aura energy. You can combine the fingers, and it's really fun. And it's really complex, but once you get it down, it's really fun. You can be like a creator, and you can create from the video game, and that's kind of the goal. Eventually to, you know, probably by the second year, a little sneak peek is you can actually add the actual creative power to your holographic template. And that's, like, super powerful, because then you become a creator. You become a creator in your own right. And every single person could be a creator. But at the same time, you know, the archangels advised me against it, and so I'm not going to create the video game because it can enslave people and send people down to lower vibrations, which is not what I want. So that's why I think not creating that video game would be the best thing. Because you could enslave somebody with that video game, you know? You can have their whole life be devoted to creating through holographic reality instead of being their own creative, expressive self, and that's dangerous as truck. And I refuse to do that. So, that's a lot of danger, or not a lot of danger. There's no real danger, but I think it would be dangerous to send someone on a path that was holographic realm, and then, you know, not have the holographic realm come into reality. Unlike Facebook, which is kind of like the opposite of what it actually is. It's just a information sucking system that sends all the data and information to some big giant mega corporation that just gathers the data and tells what can and can't be posted, you know, controlling free speech just so that there can be criminalization of humanity for no reason. And it's weird that stuff still goes on, but I'm digressing. So, like, I wanted to create that video game, and, you know, I wanted to create the video game in general. And, you know, I was super excited about it, but, you know, archangels advised me against it. But, of course, during all that time, there's a lot of high vibrational energies that were going on anyway. You know, Adam of Telos had his channelings, and had his message about the future of the next 10 years, next 15 years or so, or next 5 to 15 years of, like, leadership. and the new form of leadership that is to arrive on the planet, or is to be expressed from the planet, the beauty of what's within. And like after Camp Witsit or Camp Chawanaki, you know, I was still continuing the same expressive, peaceful, or not expressive, but peaceful solitude life that I was experiencing when, right before I went to Chawanaki. I was very zen, was just listening to music every now and then, being very careful with myself, patient with myself, and loving myself, and like caring for myself, and paying attention to myself, and just, being patient and resting and stuff like that. And, being respectful to myself. That's an important thing. So, like, I continue doing that, and I experience... of course I went to the movies when I was at Chawanaki, near Fresno, that area. Went to the movies. That was really awesome. Saw the newest Spider-Man, Far From Home. And I was inspired by the holographic stuff there, because I already know that there's holographic technology. And that type of holographic technology exists and is, could be used and stuff like that. And, that's a thing. So, that holographic rejuvenation technology and all that jazz was like a huge part of the movie, or just a huge part of life in general, because that holographic technology actually exists, and that's what movies do sometimes. They show you what type of technology actually exists, and they kind of put it out, kind of like whatever the movies are, Olympus Has Fallen, and stuff like that. So basically, like, all that, zenning that I do, all the bliss, the peace that I, instilled right before I went to Camp Chawanaki, I still, meditated and have after I went to Camp Chawanaki. And I wanted to, and I continue to, I might as well mention it in this broadcast. I'm not going to mention it. So I have my fun time with my usual sessions and stuff. And for example, I gotta give it a name. I'll call it Xylem Landing. Xylem Land. Xylem Land Sesh Time. Or Xylem Land Seshing. Xylem Land Sesh. Or Xylem Land Sesh. So I'd have Xylem Land sessions like all the time. Just doing my little shopping. And then I think I opened the Immortal store because I wanted to not be as capable with the abilities that I have with just the companies. I wanted to be as capable as those. I wanted this store just to be something just for me to grasp, like a way to free my mind from these companies, sort of thing. To free my mind from the fact that I know everything about it backwards and forwards, and that it became more of a habit than an actual company. And I wanted it to be a company and not a habit, something that I could just habituate. I wanted to take it to the next level. My body's ascending, and going through ascension systems and wanting to take my own excellence to the next level. And so I created the Immortal store, and it's been open for, about 15 days now. And it is, the culmination of, it's just connecting, it's connecting. Anyway, it's weird that I talk about the Immortal store that much. so I just started, like, I created a modal store, and anyway, I went to travel and visit my friend. Visit one of my very, very close, he was my roommate, visit my friend and my roommate, from Camp Jawanaki. And I went to Monterey, and I took the bus there, and I just, I had a good time, I talked with him, we went shopping, we hung out together, we, what else did we do? He showed me around the campus, I got to ride a scooter, I went to the garden, I got to go to the beach. It was so precious to me, like, that was so cool, that is so cool. It was such a nice walk, a long walk, because I had a limp on my leg, but, we went shopping, at the supermarket. We got a bunch of beers, and it was good. It was jolly good fun. It was celebrating life. That's how I felt. That's what I felt like it was, in the fullestness of life. I felt like it was celebrating life. We played video games. I met his roommate, seemed to be from France or able to speak French, and he had 1, 2, 3. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 roommates, 6 including him. And I got to go on campus. I got to see the garden. I got to see. I went to East of Eden. I went to Starbucks, and eventually I got on the bus and I arrived back here, and I arrived back home, and I just had it was just a wonderful experience, and now I'm just still in my peaceful meditative state where I'm just resting, being gentle with myself, resting myself, resting my body, resting my mind, and resting my heart, and really just being within myself, and still continuing my broadcasts, and playing video games, playing Super Smash Ultimate every now and then, and just living a very, 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 very zen life, a very simple life. Just not much contact with anybody, not much contact with anyone, at least in terms of person to person. And I'm just really zen. And that's my story. That's the story. That's story time. I like story time. So, with lots of love, I hope you enjoyed story time. I am Christopher Bowen. Pretty sure I'm like a Renaissance master, or I'm just a master, ascended master in my own right. And I'm a master of divine dreams, and a master of divinity itself, and I'm just continuing this infinite journey, endless journey. Or maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but whatever. So, story times is up. Story time's over. So, with lots of love, hope you enjoyed story time. I love you all.